All right, the last item in this section is talking about x and y intercepts. And if you'll remember, we've already talked about x and y intercepts. To find an x-intercept, we know that every single one of those has a y value of 0. So if we had an equation, we could plug in 0 for y and find the x-intercept. We also know that x-intercepts are where the graph crosses, or it could be touch, the x-axis. Now, what do we know about all y-intercepts? Every single y-intercept comes in the form of 0, something. They all have 0 for their x value. And if we had an equation, we could use that. We could plug in 0 for our x and find the y that goes with it. Just looking at it, a y-intercept would be where the graph crosses, or again could be touches, but crosses the y-axis. So we're going to be given some pictures, and they're going to want us to name off the x and the y-intercepts. So let's start out with the x-intercepts first. And again, we know every single one of those has a y value of 0. Well, our x-intercepts would be right here and also right here, where the graph is crossing, or in this case it's touching, the x-axis. So we need to label those points. And it looks like, according to this graph, if here is -3, then we have 1, 2, 3 tick marks. So it looks like each tick mark should be worth 1 unit. In that case, this point right here would be the point -2 in the x direction, nothing in the y, so that would be -2, 0. Now, for this point right here, we have another one where the y value is 0. So if I were to name that point, that would be a +3 in the x direction, nothing in the y direction, so that would be the point 3, 0. Now for our y-intercept. We know that every single y-intercept has an x value of 0, and according to our graph, right here is the y-intercept. Now, notice that in this case we have 12 here that matches with this tick mark. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks, but this is worth 12. That tells us that each one of these tick marks is worth a different amount than the x-axis was. And in order to go up 4 tick marks and reach 12, these tick marks would have to be worth 3 apiece, so that we would go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Well, if that's true, then to get to this point we would go nothing in the x direction, and we would have to go up 3, 6, 9 units. So that would be the point 0, 9.